The ground and facilities look fantastic. We've got people making food for us. We've got a lot of manufacturers here who are there to service guns. Plinking ranges are both brilliant. Loads of different distances out so you can check everything properly, which is great. They've got a 10 target practice course around the back, which I'm going to go and shoot in a little bit. Loads of people here. It seems like there's more than there's ever been before, which is just fantastic. It's great to see the sport grow. Weather's fantastic here. Very little wind as well, so it's nice to be able to check your zero at a really long distance and just make sure everything's running right. I'm going to go and do a bit of practice now. As I said, double check, make sure the gun's going well, and we'll see you guys later.
The cream of the world's field target shooters have finally arrived in Ebern for the 2013 World Championships, and the mood is electric. Everyone has arrived in this one place to compete, but each has their own story on how they arrived in field target.
I came to field target in the United States. When shooting silhouette, I saw some guys with big scopes and big rifles, but I did not hear any noise. And then I was curious and went to them and said, hey guys, what are you doing here? We are shooting field target. Do you want to try? I said, oh yes. And I did hit nothing. It was terrible. It was impossible to make one hit, and this was not that what I was comfortable with. And so they told me how to measure the distances, how to find the holding point, and I was fascinated.
I've been shooting field targets since 2004. I started participating in international competitions in Spain in 2010, and after that I became more familiar with these kind of competitions.
I live just round the corner from Nick Jenkinson, and that's how he told me to go at the club once, and that's how I got into it, and that's about 25 years ago.
I have a friend, Paul Oswald, who at the town of Heflin, Alabama, set up a field target range, and I was curious, so I took a gun and went down to Atlanta and shot there. And it was just an R9, but I got hooked.
I was bothering with a bunch of the wrong boys. My father wanted me to get into a bit of air rifle shooting to get away from a group of boys I was bothering with, and that pretty much started. He was the one who got me into it for my sins, and he was the one who started training me because he didn't know what he was doing.
My uncle George Hard, is also from Canada, and he for the longest time had been the only person showing up to the world events, and so he kept talking about it at all of our family functions, and at first we kind of ignored him, but then we were like, yeah, that sounds kind of cool, like why don't we try it? So just last year we went to Norway, me and my mom and my brother and sister, and competed. And yeah, it was really fun.
And then I started dating her, and her family got me into it. Now.
I got into field target originally just as a hobby to spend some time with my young teenage children at the time. And it just kind of developed from there. Once I shot and knocked down a few targets, I was hooked.
Basically myself, son of a poacher, really wasn't very good at that, kept getting caught, so I thought I'd better try and do something legal.
Couldn't run fast.
I had a gun, couldn't run very fast. Had a gun, went to a club, started from there, got hooked ever since.
Field target started for me. My friend bought an air rifle, knew nothing about it, and just got hooked on the sport, joined a club, etc., moved on from there.
I was inherited a air pistol and started plunking with it in my basement. So I looked up air pistols and I found the Olympic air pistols. And I said, oh, this is an Olympic event. So I bought one, started shooting it, found a club that shot that, shot it at the club, and they said, say, come out back, we have something to show you. And it was the woods. And there were these targets out in the woods, and they said, sit down. And they handed me a gun, and I tried shooting some of them. Hey, this is pretty fun. I said, come back on Saturday, we'll lend you a gun. So I went back on Saturday and lent me a gun, and after that I ordered one. That was it.
I used to obviously hunt, and my career grew, if you like, from hunting into field target, especially in a miners' strike. I had nothing else to do. So,
except Nick Cole.
And it sort of grew from there. And as I say, I've had 10 years out. I finished in 2000.
You don't have to give
just come back.
But we know.
We know you had 10 years out.
Okay. But anybody else does.
I think they all know. Even the German team said, oh, you're back.
I think it was the famine in Ireland that led to not enough potatoes, so we had to make a living and getting some sort of pasta and other types of food. So I had to hunt maybe rabbits, because rabbits go well with pasta, and then started to become a good shot there, shooting rabbits with an air rifle. And then I found a scope with a side wheel and progressed from there. 2005 or so started. I think 2004 in Germany was my first ever FT shoot. That's where I met Bertie. I've never been the same since, for one reason or another.
I just enjoy the camaraderie of the sport. Field target's a special sport because I enjoy shooting, but you know, getting out here, coming across the world and seeing people that I saw the last year or the year before, it's kind of like a great big family. You know, we catch up on things, and it's just the camaraderie is what I enjoy. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I really love shooting, and used to be a hunter, but of course you go all day and you never see anything to shoot, so I shoot a tree, I shoot a bucket. You know, that wasn't very much fun. So this I get to shoot all day, so it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of Muppets all shooting tin chickens with lead pellets.
Tin chickens.
It's yeah, the camaraderie. It's sort of like, it's just good fun.
Well, to me, it's a chance to start learning a language and go out and try it. Get to meet people who speak the language and see how you've done, go to unusual places.
I want to be as good as my Uncle George.
It's a challenge. I love the challenge and the feeling you get when you knock a hard one down.
Well, I forget everything, you know. This is a hobby for me as well. You know, we have a busy life, we have so many worries, we have so many things to worry about. So this is a way of, well, being in the nature, being in the outdoors. It's a different sport. Well, that's why I love it.
I suppose I was sort of one of the old hands really. I started in '86, really got into it at '87 when I turned up at a shoot and people were nice to me. I couldn't believe it. All the guys I'd seen in the magazine, they were kind to me and they asked me questions. They invited me down to their club and I went along, got the field target bug, and I was hooked for about 11 years solid. It was wonderful times, absolutely wonderful, totally dedicated to it, up to and including getting someone else to pick my middle son up from the hospital when he was born so I could go off to a field target shoot. That's awful, isn't it? That is pretty bad. And I did that and I won it, and I came home with my little plastic trophy, and my wife and my mum and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law and dad were there at home with the new baby, and as I walked in, my dad and father-in-law said, son, you're completely on your own. We're going to the pub. They're going to eat you when you go in there. And I thought, that's a bit unreasonable. I've been out shooting and I've won. So that's how it got me. I was that consumed by it.
For me, it's going to be, there's not really one, it's more of the Welsh bunch, because it's like a hurricane when those guys turn up. Really good banter and the most friendly people I think you can ever bump into.
Team Wales roll through every country and tournament like a whirlwind. It's debatable whether or not the Welsh actually shoot for the love of the sport or just the fun that surrounds it. But with Simon Evans' third place last year, Mark Bassett's third in 2009, Dorian Faulkner's runner-up in 2008, and young rising star Jack Harris tipped for success this year, the Welsh certainly can shoot. However, their shooting is nowhere near as good as their ability to have fun, deliver banter, and to put smiles on everyone's faces.
If I'm being honest, Oz, I think you look beautiful.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
People don't understand, I work at it.
To be honest with you, Oz, you don't work that hard because you look perfect when you go to bed.
I end up bed, Oz. That's all. Because I only got one chick on the bench.
Oh, I got a little bit. I got that one.
Thanks. That's very nice of you. See, teamwork.
So what is it you want us to see?
Maybe not your typical sportsman, but Team Wales are definitely larger than life.
But I tell you what, he likes Mark, he won't take his eyes off him.
Come here, bud. Open it up.
Go on in. Shove it in. Shove it in.
Why are field target shooters overweight? Probably because we go out and enjoy ourselves when we go shoot matches. You know, I think there's probably a lot of beer and Obviously in Germany a lot of weenies and such as that involved, and sausage, you know. I don't know, I guess we just all enjoy eating. So we're all a happy bunch, so that's what does it.
That's
I'm not overweighted.
Me neither.
Overweight because they spend all the time sitting down.
Why? Well, that's a question I couldn't answer because I'm not.
Because you don't have to run about and do anything, just sit there and shoot.
Well, I got to think about that one a little bit. We experienced the same thing in archery.
You can't ask me that. I'm not overweight, so I wouldn't know.
I think it's all to do with ballast and stability.
I've lost about 40 pounds since I started shooting. But that's due to the fact that I got diabetes. But other than that, you're more stable. It's just easier to relax.
I don't know. There's lots of burgers at shoots.
I think because they always have to do a managing job, to have a lot of money to travel around, because a lot of countries don't support field targets so well as I would expect, actually.
Well, I don't think that's an advantage. At least for me, it isn't. But well, probably because they feel good when they shoot with, well, I don't know, a big belly.
The actual reason why I wouldn't know, because it's more stable, I guess. You shoot standards, because there's where the points that makes the difference in the score.
Apart from myself, I couldn't tell you really, to be honest. It's probably the amount of beer that they drink.
They like too much beer.
I mean, some people might have medical problems. We can't blame it on beer and burgers. Overweight, I don't know. I mean, I've seen rugby players used to be overweight, but they were fit, sporty, did their job, and that's what these guys do.
All the overweight ones come from Wales for some reason or another, and I think it's the sheep are too lazy over there. They're too easy to catch. If the sheep were a wee bit fitter, they could maybe a bit more running to catch them. And what they do when they catch them, well, I'll save you having to edit it. So.
Yeah, that's a good question. Because we deliberately drop our heart rates to be like
Svelte
and steady on the
yeah.
shots. Yeah.
The thing is, we've got a lot of protection around our art, so it cools down a lot quicker.
It does seem that a large number of shooters use size to their advantage.
You know, in 20 years when you're shooting this competition, in 20 years when you're shooting this competition, and you're the same size as me, I remember what I was like.
Despite field target being a precision sport that depends heavily on absolute concentration, there's rarely a serious atmosphere at a shoot. Camaraderie is something that's always been present in field target.
Well, it took a big change, I suppose, around 10 years ago, when it stopped using really hunting rifles and started modifying out-and-out target rifles. And we started to see more target-orientated discipline rather than the field target. I think it's outdoor target shooting rather than field target shooting now, and they're adapting multi-adjustable butt pads, multi-adjustable stocks, all for the right reason, all to get the best level of accuracy, but it has taken a turn in direction towards a more pure target discipline. And that, of course, has driven the price up of the product and made it much harder to set the product up. So you've got, in putting a scope on a rifle, instead of going out and zeroing it and you're ready for the weekend, it's kind of months of investment now while they dial them all in and get it absolutely right. So they're better than they ever were, but there's a price to pay for that, and one of the prices is the cost of the equipment and the time it takes to set it up.
Despite the changes in technology over the years, it has, and feels like it always will, remain the same. It's not always fun though, being a field target shooter. The weather can make any shooter look average and cause havoc out on the course. Luckily, the sun is shining in Ebern. As practice day comes to a close, the entire field gather for the welcome dinner in Ebern. with everyone fed and watered, it's off to bed, ready for the first day of the competition. Tune in tomorrow for part 4 of our 7-part week-long special to see who rises to the challenge on day 1 of the 2013 World Field Target Championships.